Hey folks, in this video I'm going to explain the Friction Lab equipment a little bit and then talk about the final product. And so I'm just going to go through the handout and talk about each setup one by one. So we'll start with a roll of 1 through 5. You get a Dynamics cart with a friction pad attachment. The friction pad can be adjusted up or down, so you can kind of fine tune the amount of friction between the track and the cart. And then the requirement for this first lab is that the track is inclined. So just set it up one end on some textbooks. You can measure the angle of incline pretty easily if you install one of these angle indicators on the side of the track. You can also use trig if you don't trust the angle indicator. We also have aluminum carts that have the same sort of attachment. So if you want a heavier or lighter cart, you can. We also have different masses that attach to them, so you can change the mass of the cart if you want to. Next one is a block of wood and a wood plank. The wood plank has to be horizontal. We have two kind of types of wood planks that have hooks on them. I also probably have some wood pieces that don't have hooks on them if you don't need that. And then again, the plank has to be horizontal and you're measuring static friction. Next one is with the tape roll and large paper. The requirement for this one, because it's static friction, is that you flick the tape roll along the piece of paper. Tape roll is just the plastic left over when you're done with the roll of tape. We use paper because it makes a more awful sound on the lab bench, but that's the mechanism for doing that part of the lab. The fourth one, we're back to the Dynamics cart and track. This time the track has to be horizontal. So that first one and the fourth one are very similar. The fifth one is a small box and a wood plank. The box is the boxes that our motion detectors are shipped in. You can cut it up or modify it in any way. And I chose a box because you can sit stuff in it if you wanted to. And this time the plank has to be inclined, and you're measuring static friction that time. The last one is the fan cart. It's the only one I'm going to demonstrate. The fan cart has multiple settings. It needs to sit on the track, and it also needs to be pushing or pulling one of the wood blocks. You're going to measure static friction with that. The fan has 3 power settings. This is the lowest one, the highest one, and you can also unscrew this and turn the fan. Every time you turn the fan away from this direction, you are decreasing the amount of force that's going parallel to the track, and so you're decreasing the fan's force leading toward acceleration. So those are the setups, and basically you can use any equipment that's on this list and more if you think of it. I have tape, meter sticks, balances. There are clamps if you want anything to not move. There is a spring scale that you can use. If you're pulling something, it will tell you how much force you're pulling with. The force probes with a hook or a bumper, you can either pull or push on something with the force probe. Motion detectors just need to be set so that they are measuring the correct type of object and then aimed at the object's axis of motion. Photo gate is something that you have like probably the least experience with this, how many things you can use it for. Photo gates can be like held above by a ring stand and a clamp. They can also be set on a surface. You do need to know either the length or diameter of the thing that's going to go through, or if you're using 2 photo gates to time how long it takes to go a certain distance, you need to know the exact distance between the laser beams of the 2 photo gates, but that could be pretty useful. I have a lot of different masses. So we have hanging masses that go as low as maybe 10 grams and as big as probably a kilogram. So that's a big variety there. We have these slot masses as well. If you wanted to hang anything from a string and let's say use a pulley, you can hang the masses from these hooks and then hang the hooks from the string. So you have a lot of options for mass. You're also welcome to just like browse the cabinet of equipment and ask questions if you are trying to get ideas. So you're going to sit with your group after you've rolled your dice and brainstorm how to set up the equipment and how to take measurements. This is the lab where you definitely want to build the procedure as you test out the equipment. You're not going to have to sit down and derive a procedure from scratch without trying anything. Please ask me questions. I will help you as long as you have shown me that you've started to think about this and generated some ideas, but I definitely will help you. And then every group is going to generate a poster. These posters are going to be hung on the wall. It'll be specific to your lab. You will put them together after you're done collecting data and doing the analysis. And we will take a look at them as a class when everyone's done with the lab. Every member of your lab group will take a mastery check. That mastery check will be written at around the time that you're finishing up the lab work so that I know what questions I want to ask you. And that's it. So please ask questions, read through the handout, and good luck on the lab.